The perfect bite homemade hamburger buns. Imagine sinking your teeth into a soft, fluffy hamburger bun. Not just any bun, but one you made yourself. Homemade buns make burgers even better. They have a delicate sweetness and a texture that store-bought buns can only dream of. Let's bake. Making your own buns is easier than you think. With a few simple ingredients and a little time, you'll have delicious buns. Ready to impress your friends and family? Let's get started. Gathering your baking essentials. Before we begin, gather your ingredients. Having everything ready makes the process smooth and enjoyable. You'll need warm water, sugar, active dry yeast, all-purpose flour, milk, melted butter, salt, an egg for egg wash, and sesame seeds, which are optional. These simple ingredients are all you need to create bakery-worthy buns. Now that you have everything, let's move on to the fun part, making the dough. Creating a cloud of dough. In a large bowl, combine warm water, sugar, and yeast. The warm water helps to activate the yeast, while the sugar provides the necessary food for the yeast to grow and multiply. This step is crucial for ensuring that your dough rises properly. Let it sit for a few minutes until the yeast is foamy. This foaming action indicates that the yeast is alive and active, ready to ferment the dough. If the mixture doesn't foam, it might mean the yeast is old or the water was too hot or too cold. This means the yeast is active and ready to work its magic. The yeast will produce carbon dioxide, which will get trapped in the dough, causing it to rise and become airy. Add flour, milk, melted butter, and salt to the yeast mixture. The flour provides the structure, while the milk and butter add richness and flavor. Salt is essential for controlling the yeast's activity and enhancing the overall taste. Mix until a dough forms. This step ensures that all the ingredients are well combined, creating a uniform dough. The dough should be slightly sticky, but manageable. Then, turn the dough out onto a lightly floured surface and knead for about 5 minutes. Kneading is essential as it develops the gluten network, which gives the dough its elasticity and strength. Kneading helps develop the gluten, which gives the buns their soft texture. The more you knead, the more the gluten develops, resulting in a dough that can hold its shape and rise beautifully. The first rise patience for perfection. This is the moment where the magic begins. The dough, which was just a simple mixture of flour, water, yeast, and salt, starts to transform. The yeast begins to work its wonders, feeding on the sugars in the flour and producing carbon dioxide. This gas gets trapped in the dough, causing it to expand and rise. It's a slow process, but one that is essential for developing the dough's flavor and texture. Place the kneaded dough in a greased bowl, turning it to coat. This step ensures that the dough doesn't stick to the bowl as it rises. The oil also helps to keep the dough moist, preventing it from drying out during the rising process. Make sure the bowl is large enough to accommodate the dough as it doubles in size. Cover the bowl with a clean kitchen towel and let the dough rise in a warm place for about an hour. The warmth encourages the yeast to ferment more actively, speeding up the rising process. A warm, draft-free area is ideal. If your kitchen is cold, you can place the bowl in an oven with just the light on to create a warm environment. During this time, the yeast will ferment and the dough will double in size. This fermentation process not only makes the dough rise, but also develops its flavor. The longer the dough ferments, the more complex the flavors will be. However, be careful not to let it over-ferment, as this can cause the dough to collapse. The first rise is crucial for light and airy buns. Avoid rushing this step. Patience here will reward you with a dough that is full of air pockets, making your buns soft and fluffy. If you rush, the dough won't develop the same texture and flavor, resulting in denser buns. While the dough rises, you can clean up your workspace or prepare your burger patties. This is a great time to get everything else ready, so that once the dough has risen, you can move on to the next steps without any delay. Keeping your workspace clean and organized will make the entire baking process more enjoyable and efficient. Shaping and the second rise, buns ready to bloom. Punch down the risen dough to release any air bubbles. Divide the dough into equal portions. Shape each portion into a smooth ball, then flatten slightly into a bun shape. Place the shaped buns on a baking sheet lined with parchment paper. Cover them loosely with the kitchen towel and let them rise for another 30 minutes. This second rise allows the buns to become even fluffier. Golden brown and delicious. Baking your buns is an art that brings joy to any kitchen. Today, we'll guide you through the steps to achieve perfect hamburger buns every time. Start by preheating your oven to 375 degrees Fahrenheit or 190 degrees Celsius. This ensures that your buns bake evenly and develop a beautiful crust. While the oven heats, prepare an egg wash. Simply whisk together 1 egg and a tablespoon of water. This mixture will give your buns a shiny golden finish. Once your dough has risen, gently brush the egg wash over the tops of the buns. This step is crucial for achieving that perfect golden brown crust that makes homemade buns so irresistible. If you like, you can sprinkle sesame seeds on top of the egg-washed buns. This adds a delightful crunch and a touch of flavor that complements the soft, fluffy interior. Place the buns in the preheated oven and bake for 15 to 20 minutes. Keep an eye on them as they bake. You'll know they're done when they turn a rich golden brown and sound hollow when tapped on the bottom. After baking, let the buns cool slightly on a wire rack. This helps them set and makes them easier to slice. Once cooled, they're ready to be enjoyed with your favorite burger or sandwich fillings. Happy baking! Enjoy your handiwork serving suggestions. These homemade hamburger buns are incredibly versatile. They're perfect for classic beef burgers, juicy chicken sandwiches, or even pulled pork sliders. Their slightly sweet flavor also pairs well with grilled vegetables or a simple spread of butter. Enjoy the satisfaction of serving homemade buns at your next gathering. The taste and texture will surely impress, and everyone will appreciate the love and care that went into baking them.